Hey, my name is Jack Bourne. I'm the founder of Deadline Funnel, and I just wanted to have a quick conversation with you about time zones. I just handled a client request about, hey, why can't I set up my Deadline Funnel campaign to be in my subscribers' time zone? And the answer is technically you can. But before we get into that, let's just talk about the way that we recommend doing it. And then I'll talk about how you can actually do this. And some of this is going to depend on the email software that you're using, but I'll walk you through this. I'm going to show it to you on my trusted iPad that I love to draw on. And so let's dive right in. So the first thing that you need to know is that if you think for a second about the way that you would do a regular promotion that was completely live, like Black Friday or your birthday, or just because you want to, like you're just coming out with a product, one of these events, you would pick a date on the calendar, you would pick a time for the deadline, and you would pick a time zone. And everyone in the world, no matter where they are, that would be their deadline. And you would probably communicate it to them as, let's choose Pacific US. You would say, hey, the deadline is 11:59 Pacific time zone on this specific date. Or if it's 8 p.m. Eastern, whatever it is, you would specify what the actual time zone is, what the date is, and what the time of day is for that promotion. So in the same way, you're going to do this. We recommend that you do this for your evergreen campaigns when you set it up as X number of days. So for example, 5 days. That means that not including the day that they start in the campaign, because remember, we count that as day 0, or we don't count that. The first full day is day 1, next full day is day 2, etc. So we recommend doing it as 11:59 p.m. in whatever time zone you choose, X number of days into the future. Just makes it a real convenient way for you to be able to set it up that way, and to just be able to communicate in your emails, hey, it's going to be at midnight tonight Pacific time, right? It just makes it really super simple. In addition to that, when you're using Deadline Funnel, you might already know this, but our API and Zapier integrations with your email platform gives you the option, it's an option, to customize the body of your email with the details of their specific deadline. So if Bob comes in on Monday and his deadline is Friday, you could say, hey, just want to make sure you understand that tonight, 11:59 p.m., Friday, August 15th, whatever the year is, like however you want to format that date, we call it the deadline text. That can be formatted and added into the body of the email. You don't have to, but it just adds that extra little bit of detail and specificity so that your message really comes across as communicating, look, this is a real deadline, rather than just saying midnight tonight, right? Because other people have used kind of fake scarcity in the past. You're not, and this is a great way using the power of Deadline Funnel to customize the body of the email, to increase attention, increase conversions for your sales. Now let's get back to the question, which you might be wondering, which is, hey, look, that's all fine and good, but I want to make it specific to my subscribers' time zone. So before we get into this, I need you to know that this is advanced. So if this is your first Deadline Funnel campaign, or maybe even your second, you just need to know that you're kind of diving into the deep end of the pool. It's not rocket science, but it is more complex. So with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw on my iPad and explain how you could do this. So let me just make sure that I hit record, and away we go. The first thing that you need to know is that rather than making it X number of days, you're going to set this up as X number of hours. Okay? So for example, if you wanted it to be 2 days, roughly two days into the future, you would make that, of course, a 48-hour deadline. Now, hey, I wanted to quickly just show you in the admin how and where you would do this. So under settings for an existing campaign that you've set up, you would go and change the deadline length, in this case from 2 days to 48 hours, and then you would click save. Now, you might be wondering, why is there a choice of time zone? That's for how the text is displayed on the floating bar. So if you're using the floating bar, that's going to be useful for you to show. So just choose your clients, like the time zone that most of your clients are in, If you don't know one, just choose one that half or a third of your clients are in. So that's it. That's how you change from a specific number of days to a specific number of hours. In order to make this work to be, let's say, midnight in their time zone, then what you would need to do is you would then need to trigger this webhook, this integration, the signal that goes to deadline funnel at exactly midnight in their time zone. So how do you do that? Well, your email system, okay, so this will be your CRM, I'll just call it, your email system is going to need to know their each subscriber's time zone. So it's going to be dependent on their ability to know that. So you could have a waiting event. This is a clock. A waiting event, so this would be wait until midnight in their time zone, okay? And then it would move them into a new sequence, and this would be literally a 48-hour email sequence, okay? So this is a second sequence, and this is just the smartest way to do this here, so that you would have the deadline 48 hours. So the signal gets sent, the signal would be the webhook, gets sent to deadline funnel at midnight in their time zone. And so when it's starting at a known time, then it's going to end at literally 48 hours later. If you started at midnight, that's going to be at midnight 48 hours later. So that's how you could do it in their time zone. Similarly, if you wanted it to end at 8 p.m. 2 days later in their time zone, then you would have it wait until 8 p.m. in their time zone and then send them into this campaign. And the first step in the campaign, I don't think I mentioned it in what I just covered, but the first step would be to send that webhook to deadline funnel. All right, so the signal goes to deadline funnel. You've got however many emails you have going out in the 48 hours to make sure that people know about this, and then the deadline happens later. Of course, you need to use the deadline funnel email links in your email series. Everything is the same that we've explained in other areas of our documentation. So that's how you can do that. Now, here's some important points to understand. Some email systems do a better job at knowing the time zone than others. Some email systems have much more granular waiting mechanisms. So some you can say wait until whatever time in their time zone. Some systems you just can't. You just won't be able to do it. So a lot of this depends on whether your email system has the capability to do this. One of the things that I really want to point out is that the vast majority of our clients don't set it up to be a deadline in their time zone. The vast majority of our clients choose a time zone, choose a time of day. 11:59 p.m. is really the ideal time that you want to do it for some reasons I'm not going to go into right now. It has to do with accuracy of making sure that the timing is correct. That's really what it boils down to. So the vast majority of our clients don't do what I just explained. It's really overkill. Now, we do have clients who say, look, this is the way that I want to do it. I just want to. And if that's you, that's fine. I've just explained how to do it, but it's really going to be dependent on your email system's capability of being able to accurately know what the time zone is for each subscriber that you have, and to accurately trigger the signal to deadline funnel at the time that you want. All right, so that's the overview of how to do it, some of the how and why behind the time zone considerations for your evergreen campaign. As always, we're here to help you. If you have any questions, reach out to my team. They're super, super helpful and very knowledgeable, and our job is to help you get set up with deadline funnel so you can be our client forever. So that's it. Once again, my name is Jack Bourne. Thank you for being our client.